Huh? Yeah, it was my birthday. Wednesday. Oh, yeah, it was great. The guys from the Messenger took me out. We had a little, nice little lunch there, and, they brought the cake, which I'm so old now, looked like a prairie fire. No? No, don't show the video. No, don't show the video. No. Oh, thank you guys. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, is that the cake? It's hot. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of Houston County News. My name is Greg Ritchie. It's so nice to have you with us this week, although I have to say, the old podcast studio is feeling a little lonely today. Kendall and Peyton couldn't be with us this morning, but you know what? That's okay. I'll carry the show all on my own, and look, it's going to be bad. Just don't click away, okay? Please. We've got a fun show for you today. I think you may just enjoy it. We've got Rebeca Huffman from the city of Crockett here. She's going to talk about a lot of these events going on. We've got some new businesses coming into town. I think we went from 0 Italian food in this area. Now we have 2 Italian places. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and also we're going to talk about some elections going on, a little bit about crime, and a whole bunch more. So I hope you stick around, and we'll begin all of that and more right after this.
Latexo Lady Tiger Madeline Smith loves 2 things, volleyball and healthy homemade food, like at the Moosehead Cafe in downtown Crockett. We just hope she never combines the 2.
Can I have a glass of water, please?
I'll get it.
The Moosehead Cafe in downtown Crockett. Friends, family, and good hometown food. Looking for powerful equipment at a price that works? Don't miss the tractor and heavy equipment sale at Greater Lufkin Auto Auction. May 9th at high noon, open to the public, with lightly used farm and heavy machinery ready to work when you are. Browse the inventory online and get ready to bid. Greater Lufkin Auto Auction. Big machines, bigger savings.
You're watching Houston County News. Lucky you!
Well, folks, we had our Blues Festival in town, and already there's planning for next year. And here at the podcast, we've actually received a few submissions for groups and artists and little local people that want to get on stage. And we thought we would show you some of the videos they've sent and kind of get your opinion on what we think about them. Now, the first one here is actually an exchange student, but he said he wants to go by the name of Bob Alto Wilkins. And so we're going to do that. And let's have a look now and see Bob's video submission for being a singer next year.
Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye to everybody. Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye to everybody.
Well, they get better, ladies and gentlemen. The next submission we have is from, looks like it says Bix Cahill and the Big Sandy Band. And sounds like this group of kids from Grapeland here about to tear it up. Let's watch their video submission right now. Well, the last we have is says here it's submitted by little Larry Johnson of Lovelady, and he said he recorded this at one of the local churches there. Should be good. Are you ready? Here it is. Let's have a look.
I didn't know you was going to start out with looking for a city built above. Looking for a city where we'll never die. Where the saint in millions never say goodbye. There we'll meet our Savior.
Well, folks, all kidding aside, if you missed the Blues Festival this past weekend, man, you missed a lot. It was so much fun and such a huge success. I'm so proud of just everybody that was involved, and it took an army. I mean, an absolute army from Susan Knox and all the great people of the Downtown Crockett Association, Lisa Clark, Brian Lake, Loria Miles, Jennifer Sparks, everybody. I'm sure I'm leaving out a ton of names. We had a great car show. Joanne and from KIVY and I were the judges at the dog parade with, oh my gosh, over 24 amazing dogs, all in different costumes. And then obviously the car show, all the different groups. Also, yours truly, very, very proud and honored to be able to help edit this Frank Robinson documentary video that was shown, one of the kind of local legends and blues, all the great food trucks, and obviously the music just off the charts, Sue Foley and Mustang Red and the Fabulous Thunderbirds and all the rest. If you missed it, hey, it is going to come around again, but lesson learned, some of the local events, we sometimes say around here, oh, there's nothing to do. Well, there was something to do this past weekend in Crockett, and it was pretty awesome. So God bless everybody for coming out and all the people that worked so hard, so many months to make it all possible.
At Davy Crockett Grill, food isn't just what we serve, it's our passion. From pizza and catfish to pulled pork, burgers and steaks, and those free pork cracklings to snack on. This is homestyle cooking done right.
Come see us at Davy Crockett Grill.
For comfort you can taste.
Well, folks, if you had a chance to look at today's newspaper, you're going to find a lot of crime stories actually in there this week, more than usual. And I haven't done this a couple years now. I find they kind of come in waves for some reason. But I saw a couple people talking online about, I just moved to this area. I didn't think it was this bad. And, well, the truth is it's not. There are some little crimes and big crimes. Anybody that thinks that we don't have the exact same crimes they have in big cities, we do. We absolutely do. Now, because there's fewer of us, we don't have as many. So, if we have a murder a year, well, Houston's going to have, hundreds of them or whatever due to the population. One thing I think that could help us with some of this crime is being more aware. Lock your house, take your valuables out of your car. If you got some cameras, turn them on, keep them on. Check in with your neighbors. And, sometimes, we live out on a county road. The neighbors, maybe you see the smoke of the chimney wintertime, maybe on the horizon. But stay in touch. Hey, I've seen that white car come through the neighborhood again. Is that a friend of yours or who is that? I know in the city of Crockett, for example, they're looking to start a little neighborhood watch. I'm going to volunteer for that. I think that's a wonderful idea because we live here. We know who's supposed to be here and who's not supposed to be here. But, the other thing is just to, if you see something, say something. And I've talked to all of our law enforcement officials. I mean, school police, Grapeland, Crockett, Sheriff's Office, you name it. I know them or they know me from my many arrests. No, just from doing the job. And they all tell me the same thing. Get in touch. We want to know. You're not bothering us. Because sometimes we as the public, we don't know what we don't know. And so if we see a car flying down the road, well, it could be just that kid from the local school, showing off again. Or it could be somebody taking the new Ayatollah from Iran, hiding him somewhere deep in the piney woods. That's my suspicion right there. I think there are secret bunkers in the piney woods, and one of these days the bunkers are going to open, and they're all going to come out, and they're going to come out, and they're going to attack, and we have to be ready. We have to be... Well, maybe not, but let's be ready anyway, because that's the Iranis of the zombies. It's probably good for us to be connected, communicated, and together on these things. More after this.
My name's Rachel Thompson. I'm the assistant plant manager at Wahoo. I specialize in poultry rendering, and I wanted to grow, so I heard about Darling being a bigger rendering company, and I came here for the growth that it offers. Women in this industry have come a long way, and thanks to Darling, here we are. You know, we're taking over poultry and doing it right, so I love Darling.
Hey, folks, and welcome back to the show. And we have a special guest for you this week from the city of Crockett. It's Community Liaison, Miss Rebeca Huffman. Rebeca, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky.
Well, thank you for being on the show. Now, it says here you are originally from, I'm not going to pronounce this right, by the way, Mexico? Mexico.
You are close. You are close. If you want to pronounce with the J instead of the X, used to say it the old way.
I don't. So if I'm a Joto, what did you? No. I'm kidding, of course. You're from Mexico City. That was
Mexico.
I hope nobody got that joke. And of course, matter of fact, I probably lived there while you were still there back in those days. But you've been in Crockett now. You're more local than I am probably at this point. And one thing you'll find about Rebeca, she's involved in just about everything. You're going to see her just about every meeting. Mm-hmm. You're in every group. You're the first to volunteer. But your day job, your real job, is community liaison for the city of Crockett. What does that mean? Tell us about that job.
Absolutely. So, Greg, that means that I am the link between the community, between the pueblo, between the people, and the city as an entity. So we found that there was a barrier, a lack of communication between what was happening, what's going on with even notices, like a water notice,
right?
Or just anything related to communication to the town.
So you're kind of the megaphone between the people and the government. Of course, I know one of the big things that you've done is really take control of the Civic Center, which is such a great space, and really get that going now, because I know there's obviously a bunch of big events, but then, man, you've got weddings and quinceañeras and big parties and stuff. Tell me about the growth of the Civic Center.
Well, the Civic Center is a beautiful facility. It's a 40-year-old facility put together by a lot of donations from great people from back in the day. And we have been taking care of the bookings for the last 2 years. We have had a great response from the community. We're having so many events. I'm so sad and happy to say this at the same time, but that we even have funerals. Retirement parties. We have the main auditorium, which I want to believe that everybody is familiar with. But also we have a conference room with a capacity for 90 people or so.
Very good. That's where we do those debates with political candidates, of course.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, big room. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a building suitable for any kind of event. It doesn't matter how big or small we have.
Well, I was sad to see last week, you must have been busy. It's my birthday last week. And I knew the community would come together and rent that big hall to make a party. And when I didn't get a phone call that they had done that, I thought, well, the Civic Center was probably booked already. So there's still time, though. Now, one of the coolest things you do.
I will highly recommend people to, if they know that they have something coming up, just to book at least 9 months ahead of time.
Now, that is true, because even for some of the political things we've wanted to do, I've had to call you and say, can you do this day? No, how about that day? But that is so cool, because there's really not, there's very few places in general, but I don't know of a cooler place to have an event like that. either in that main auditorium, which I know a lot of people do, sometimes Kalen Center and the Chamber of Commerce, but that place in the back there, that big conference room. Now, you've started doing something that we really needed around here. And I told you, I called you, I said, this is amazing. And no, you're not going to be able to see this that well on camera, but we'll do some kind of a close-up or something. Can you see that?
And it's already on social media, so
Well, that was what I was going to say. This is actually right there on Facebook. I saw it. What is the actual page? Is it City of Crockett?
Yes, it's under the City of Crockett, and this is nothing but a infographic with all the events that we're having through the month.
But this is what this is what everybody asks us to do, and I try to keep up with it. But of course, you're in touch with more people than I am about civic and community events, and it's really got everything on here. I mean, there's benefits for different people around here. There's health fairs, there's mobile clinics, Lemon Meadow. I don't know what that is, but I'll be there. Camp Street Blues, of course, we just had that, and all the other things. Mission Tejas, movies. That is such a cool thing because people always complain there's nothing to do.
Yes.
But actually, there's a lot to do. It's just a matter of knowing. Well, I mean, and I think about that. I think if I went to every event that's going on, or somebody called me about, or even invited me to, I wouldn't have time to, do my hair. It would be just all socializing.
Well, not that you get in there. That Lemon, that advertised that you see there,
Yes.
is a lady that she just opened her hair salon.
Oh, excellent.
On 4th Street, North 4th Street. She came from Palestine, and she just shared that she's so happy to be here in Crockett, that she loves our community, and she does hair. She's a hair color.
Wow.
And so, yeah, you can definitely use her.
Well, I hope so, to get this back into shape. I've had the same haircut since I was 7. It is kind of cool. I will say, like, for example, when the Starbucks left, maybe I cried, maybe not. Because it was just a fun place to go sometimes and hang out. But we went from 0 Italian restaurants in Crockett to, I think now we're going to have 2, like that. That's pretty cool. And you love to see those things coming in. What do you think it takes? I mean, because you do the city, you're also in the Chamber of Commerce, do all these things. Why do businesses not succeed here? What is some of them? Because we see, and there are certain places around town where it's a Chinese restaurant, it's a Mexican restaurant, it's an Indian restaurant, it's a Vietnamese restaurant, it's a Romanian restaurant, all within 6 weeks, and they all somehow don't.
Yes.
What is there a magic like potion or something?
I feel that a lot of this falls into local support, and coming from conversations with merchants around our city.
Sure.
They share that the 80% of their customers, they come from different places, but Crockett. So not even the county.
I've heard that.
Yes. But so we want to promote more the tourism. We want to promote everything that we're putting together, and to welcome people, which is going to help with our hot tax money as well.
Well, I think you're exactly right about, and so for example, when we do the newspaper, they'll always come and they'll say, "Oh, we need a chicken place. Oh, we have to have a chicken place. Oh, if we only had a chicken place." And then we had a chicken place open, and I think they've shut down since then. And you say, "Well, we had one," and I don't know if they mean they want a national brand or something. That's tough to get.
It has been a challenge, Greg, but I think that people need to realize that the success of the whole county and the whole city as a whole is going to depend on local support. So our neighbors, our friends, our family who lives here, if we're having a party, a birthday, happy birthday, by the way,
Thank you.
coming up, I'm going to have you a present, but I'm going to look first locally. I'm going to come to our stores because we have great stores in town. We have.
Well, it's true, and by the way, I've been guilty of this. I've been guilty of driving to the Woodlands to have a little lunch, and right down the road there's a place that I've never tried, and I think,
yes,
come on, that's well, I don't know what it is, but yes, I think a lot of businesses complain, rightly so, that we don't get enough support. And also, more of them should probably advertise on this podcast. Now, we talked the other day, and we did a little interview with you and a little story in the newspaper about this custom cowboy memorial. And if you didn't see it, it was in Thursday's paper. We've got another story coming in today's paper. So basically, the custom cowboy is not somebody that just works at your ranch all the time. He's like a fireman. So I call him and I say, hey, I've got a cow stuck in the river. Come get him out. And then Rebecca calls him and says, oh, no, the horse is out of the barn or whatever. Really fascinating history. But it sounds like, once again, and I'm happy to hear this was like the Crockett Lions Club and the city and FG Metalworks, and everybody's sort of coming together. And it's coming up in a couple weeks, I think, the big sort of unveiling.
And we're going again to the local support, right? All this artwork has put together by local people, by local artists, and put together by local people and organizations that they care about all the people with this great history. So yes, this event is going to happen on May the 2nd, which is the same day with the Rodeo Queens. It's going to happen in the rodeo, the PRCA rodeo. Yeah. And it's very interesting how this custom cowboy, which nobody knows what it's about, but is basically a suitable person for the rancher's needs.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Could you be a custom cowboy, you think?
Yes. I could definitely do it with like 15 years of...
Well, I'm happy you say that. Well, I'm happy you say you could do the job. Surprise. Boys, come on in. We've actually got you a... No.
Just need a hat.
I don't want to get anything political at all, but we've had CEIDC and we tried like the Main Street Project. We've tried so many things to support this place. And I agree with you. I'm sometimes disappointed that it seems to be the same, like 12 people doing kind of everything around here. But what do you think this town could really use to like make that next, big step? I mean, if there was, this is, again, not a fair question, but if there was just one thing you say, boy, if we had that thing, would it be government grants or a Disneyland? I mean, I don't, a Disneyland would be nice.
I am going to use the Blues Festival as an example.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the best way to picture this.
Yes.
When you put an event together for the good sake of the whole community, you're not having just one person in charge. You are having so many people there behind scenes. And we don't need titles here. We don't need people that are expertises and doing this or that. Right. And I think if you're asking for that, one question is care or engagement. People that wants to actually have things done. We don't need you, neighbor, to commit 30 hours a week. But if you do just the one thing, because everybody has different skills.
And if everybody gave an hour a week, just imagine. I mean,
that will be
how much
huge. It will make a huge difference. And so I'm pointing at the Blues because it's a team now about 30 people.
Yeah.
People that I've never seen because I'm not as popular as you, so I don't know everybody. Right?
I don't think that's true. I'm going to go outside and find tomatoes on my car. Trust me.
Yes, and peppers and something else because somebody put them there for you.
Nice. So I can cook a nice bruschetta one.
Yes. I bring the meat and we made a carne asada. How about that? But yes, engagement.
I agree.
We'll put it on engagement and just care.
Well, a lot of people do know me. I give a lot of hours a week to the city, and my specialty is really complaining. And so I like to show up to the meeting and go, why don't we do this? Why didn't you do that? I could have done that better. I didn't do anything, but I could have done it. So last question. Yes.
I need to tell you something. I love complainers.
Right.
Because this is the kind of people that I want because I'm going to put them in a committee.
You're going to put them on a committee. All right. You complained about it. Now go fix it. Yeah. If you find out the complainers only come to complain, they don't show up for the actual fixing the problem.
Free speech. That's it.
Yeah. Or it's always easier on Facebook to, well, they should
Right.
do this and do that. But
Right.
yeah.
That can be a tip. If you're gonna complain on Facebook or somewhere
Right.
Publicly, please include your address and phone number so we can reach out to you and follow up with that complaint.
Absolutely.
So we make a better team.
Well, the growth of social media is such the kindest, nicest people in the world will scream at you and say bad words at you online. It's fascinating. All right, last question. You and I have talked about this before. So there are times when I do miss the chaos of Mexico City, if I'm honest. Mexico City is 25 million people. There's about 7 million cars on the road. I lived, I think, maybe 1 mile from my office, and it was about 40 minutes.
You were blessed.
Oh, no.
wow.
I lived in Polanco. You know how much rent I paid to live there? But it was only because it was so close. But I had to cross the loop, the periférico, to get from the office to my house. 40 minutes to go 1 mile in Mexico City. And I had people that would go like, why don't you just walk? And I said, well, in Mexico City, that's a little more complicated sometimes than it might seem. But obviously the food, let's be honest. Boy, the real Mexico food is tough. But you tell me yourself, and I know you're married, you'll have family here and everything, but what keeps you in Crockett? What is it about Crockett that you personally just like?
That's a very good question.
I've done this before.
Right. I am a uptown girl. For sure, I have a very good adaptability.
That's true.
To get to different sizes, cities. And that's something that it drew me to Crockett. Is the warmth of the people, the closeness. Like, we can be killing each other on social media, but if something happens to you, I'm going to come and help you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You
I agree with that. I wish they'd be nice on social media, but when it comes down to it, they know you and they love you and they take care of you. Yes. Well, it's a pretty interesting job you've got, and you're obviously doing a lot with it, and the calendars and the events and stuff. Well, I appreciate you coming by. Before we go, we'll talk a little bit of Spanish, just because nobody believes I speak Spanish.
Absolutely.
¿Tu mamá sigue aquí en el pueblo?
Mi mamá sigue aquí en el pueblo.
Salúdamela mucho.
Por supuesto.
Me acuerdo mucho de ella.
Por supuesto, y ella te recuerda con mucho cariño.
Bueno, por si nos está viendo, un beso. Thank you very much for coming and seeing me.
Muchas gracias.
Houston County, Texas is a lot of things. It's our amazing cities and towns, Davy Crockett National Forest, and our fields and streams. It's cattle and lumber, manufacturing and tech support. It's national brands and mom and pops. It's our churches and it's our schools. For many of us, Houston County is home. Come visit us and see for yourself what makes this place special. Houston County, first in Texas history, first in our heart.
One last note, folks, before I let you go. We are still doing some serious investigating over some allegations of some different situations with our local voting here. I will say a few things to a few people here, and if they're watching, they'll know who they are. We know what's going on. We know how it's happening. We know what's happening. And again, cut it out. That's all I can say. Now, before we go, we had Rebeca on, and after we turned the cameras off, and she left, she mentioned that also Cinco de Mayo was coming up, and of course that reminded me of a joke because everything does. But a lot of people think that's like Mexican Independence Day. Not at all. A lot of people don't understand. That was actually from the port of Veracruz during the First World War. A lot of people don't know this story. And Mexican people loved certain foods from Europe. They loved Dijon mustard from France. They loved certain different spices and mint jelly and different things from England. And they loved Hellmann's mayonnaise from Germany. And they knew with the starting of the First World War, that was all about to end. All of those great European products that they loved were about to end. And many of them were along the docks there on the port of Veracruz, looking out into the Gulf of Mexico, seeing the last ship come in from Europe with all these great supplies. And it was one of the German Hellmann's mayonnaise ships, loaded with this stuff, at least enough to last for a while, you know. And lo and behold, here comes a ship, and you probably saw this coming. a British submarine was waiting in the harbor for that ship, shot a torpedo right into it, and blew it to smithereens. And the Mexican people cried because they knew this, this last sort of taste of Europe that was coming to them, this Hellman's mayonnaise, was now lost forever. And that's why to this day they celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Love you, folks. We'll see you next week. God bless you.